Hi, dreamer. Welcome to San Antonio. I'm Brittany, and you're joining me today at the Hotel Contessa on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. And I'm really glad to have you here. I do hotel reviews, maybe some weekly vlogs, and just travel content in general. So this weekend is a busy weekend here on the Riverwalk because there's a bowl game this weekend, and so there's a lot of football fans in town. So we are definitely in for a fun weekend. We're here just to enjoy the Riverwalk before we head up to Austin for New Year's. I'll tell you a little bit more about the Riverwalk and Hotel Contessa later, but it's kind of late in the afternoon and I'm hungry, so we better head downstairs and see what we can find to eat. Good morning, dreamer. Sorry I didn't get back to you last night after dinner. Last night did not go as planned. We were going to end up at the hotel restaurant and it was packed. They said a 3-hour wait and we said, heck no. So that's not particularly common at hotel restaurants. I don't encounter that a whole lot. The bar was full, the lounge was full. So we walked a couple blocks off of the Riverwalk to go eat at a place called Maverick. Service was not good at all, but the food was pretty good. So if you're in a bind and you need a place to eat, I would go back. Let me tell you a little bit about Hotel Contessa. This is not my first time at the Riverwalk, and it's also not my first time at Hotel Contessa. I stayed here back whenever I was really getting into nice hotels, probably 7 years ago, and I remember really liking it. There are a few travelers that I think particularly this place is geared for. I think it's geared towards couples. It's actually right across the Riverwalk from Lovers Island, and it is also pretty far from the convention center, so you're avoiding a lot of those like business travelers. I also don't particularly think that it's geared towards children. It just doesn't strike me as very like kid friendly, even though you totally could have a family here. These are suites, these are huge rooms. However, the bedroom that we slept in last night is very small, so it only has double beds, which is really not fun. Let me just tell you, as an adult and as like a definitely full-sized adult, sleeping in like a double bed is just never fun. You could sleep out here on this huge L-shaped couch, and it's actually pretty comfortable. We came in last night and watched an old movie and just kind of chilled out. There is a rooftop pool and hot tub. We'll probably check that out at some point during our trip. We went up there, looked around, checked out the fitness center. There are Pelotons up there, so that's pretty nice if you are a biker. And just looked at the pool, the amazing views up there. So really nice pool area, really nice loungers. You're protected from the wind. And the pool and hot tub are heated, so you could use them year-round. So the restaurant here is open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, which is always something that I'm on the lookout for. I paid $350 a night to stay here. Now, it is during the holiday season, even though it's not over a holiday, and there is a big bowl game that I mentioned last night in town. So hotel prices are pretty high during this time. So that's probably a little high compared to a normal rate for here. However, people come and go to the Riverwalk to stay year round. So it's always going to be at least a little busy. During the holiday season is when I particularly recommend it though, because it's draped in lights and it's really beautiful. I can't say whether or not I recommend or don't the Hotel Contessa right now. I still actually have a couple more nights here, and I have to go check out the restaurant and probably some more facilities before I give you a full review. I'll tell you a little bit more about the Riverwalk whenever we're out exploring, either today or tomorrow, but I definitely need to go get ready for the day and see what there is to explore. So I'll catch up with you later. All right, I thought I would bring you along the Riverwalk to kind of tell you a little bit about the Riverwalk. Now, this is really just a video in general about staying at the Hotel Contessa and the Riverwalk, but I thought I'll give you just a little bit of history. The best way to get history about the Riverwalk is just to take one of their barge tours. You can usually do that same day. They're not particularly expensive or long, and it'll give you just general history about the Riverwalk. But they started building it in the 20s due to a flood, and it really helped with water mitigation. They finished many years later. It opened in the 40s, I believe, but actually it never was actually finished. Then they keep adding on to it. It hasn't been added on to in a while, but they added on to it for many, many decades after it opened and continued on. As mentioned previously, the Hotel Contessa is actually on one end of the Riverwalk, which opened in 2005. So it's pretty old, not, super old or anything, but it really hasn't been updated since. And I do think like the rooms could use a little bit of spoofing. We'll talk about that a little bit later whenever we get back to the hotel. I think the Riverwalk is probably one of the best places for walkability and year-round vacations in the US. Anytime someone wants a walkable vacation in the winter, I send them to Key West or I send them here. This is an amazing destination for couples. There's tons of restaurants and bars around the Riverwalk, and there's lots of history in San Antonio. I mean, you have the Alamo. They have a really nice historic district with like beautiful homes. You can take a carriage ride through it. They'll talk to you about it. Really great. There's old missions you can visit. There's the Big Needle that you can go up in and see. All of that is pretty well walkable or a short Uber ride from the Riverwalk. So you don't need a car if you're staying here. I would definitely just get a taxi or an Uber from the airport and just stay along the Riverwalk here. Weather in San Antonio, especially in the winter, is very, very tepid, like very, very mild. It is really nice out today. I do have my heavy coat on, but I just tend to get cold, honestly. But it's like really, really nice mild weather here, which is why I always recommend it for a winter destination. You are in South Texas, so in the summer it can get very, very hot here. Also be aware that there is a huge convention center here, which is why I've been here so many times, and so it can get very busy depending on the convention that is in town. I'd love to know if you've visited the Riverwalk or if it's kind of on your list as some place that you're aware of or that you wanted to visit. I'm gonna take a little bit of a stroll around the artisan village here. I do that every time. It's one of my favorites. It's just a little tight cluster of privately owned art shops. You can get anything from copper jewelry to homemade soaps there. Really, really nice, very nicely run shops. And so I always recommend that you stop by if you're visiting. I'm gonna go take a stroll around there and I'll meet you back at the hotel. All right, you found me back at the hotel and I thought we would talk just a little bit about it before I go and check out. Breakfast at the hotel restaurant downstairs was okay. I am not particularly disappointed that we missed out on it for dinner. I think it would have only just been okay. It is well rated, so perhaps dinner is better than breakfast. And there wasn't anything particularly wrong with it. It just wasn't outstanding or exciting. Also, the coffee down there has like a very strong cinnamon flavor. Wish they had kind of warned me a little bit about that. And cinnamon doesn't really agree with me a lot of the time. If you're coming to the Riverwalk, I think Hotel Contessa is an okay choice. If you're coming for business or if you're coming with friends, I think I would choose something else. It is on the slightly quieter end of the Riverwalk, and it is also very far from the convention center. So if you're staying for the convention, you can definitely get a hotel that's closer. Not that anything on the Riverwalk is particularly far. You can walk the whole thing in maybe 15-20 minutes. I do think this hotel is showing a little bit of its age. There's some cabinets that are beat up. There's definitely mold growing in the bathroom and in the shower. We had hot water issues for our entire stay. I don't think it's necessarily the hotel hot water heater. It's something to do with like the valves in the plumbing, because it switches from like hot to cold, and it takes an incredibly long time for the water to heat up. Some good points about this room. I do think it's incredibly well lit. There's lamps everywhere. There's big windows in the bedroom. However, there's only 2 double beds plus like a couch. The couch is comfortable. So if you're staying with, 2 couples, or if you're staying with like some friends, I definitely would recommend getting a different hotel that possibly has some like queen beds. These beds are really too small for sharing. I also think the price point is right in line with most other hotels in this range on the Riverwalk. I think the amenities upstairs, the spa, and the heated rooftop pool with amazing views, and the fitness center with Pelotons all make the price comparable to other things, and I think the amenity list here is pretty good. The valet is $53 a night plus tax, which is absolutely insane. So you can probably park in a neighboring garage and walk if you're willing to sacrifice the convenience. It'll definitely save you quite a bit of money. Would I come back? Maybe. I think I would try another location here on the Riverwalk first. This would not be my first pick anymore. It definitely has aged, and you can really feel that since the last time I came. The staff have been fine. The valet staff have been great. There isn't enough area for the valet vehicles, so it gets really backed up down there, and you're also pulling off onto like a one-way, and then you need to get on an immediate adjacent like runway. So it's just a little bit of a mess down there location wise in the parking situation. So that's definitely a con, and the fact that this place could use an update. I do think it is generally clean though. Everything was like clean, and just was looking some like maintenance and age issues with like the mold and the cabinets having some peeling. So overall, I think I'm just gonna do overall ratings this year. If you want me to switch back into my 7-point rating system, I'd be happy to. It just seemed a little long-winded last year. So let's try something new in the new year. So overall, I would rate this place probably a 6 out of 10, just leaning to the fact that I would come back here. That's really where my 5 stands, is like on the plus side of 5 is like all the hotels that I would come back to, and on the other is things that I definitely wouldn't recommend. So I don't overly recommend this place, but if somebody wanted to stay here, I would happily come back. So that's my review of Hotel Contessa in the Riverwalk. I'd love to know where you think I should stay next. I'll be back shortly with another travel video dreamer. Until then, bye.